I'm sure you've considered purchasing something before and thought to yourself at the last minute, should I really buy this? What if there was a way to weigh up your purchases against one another to find out what's not only important for you, but for your wallet? Allow me to introduce £1 1 hour, a simple philosophy to live by. Whenever I consider a purchase, I simply weigh up its value by how many hours it gives me against a £1 per hour metric. If something cost me £100, I would expect at least 100 hours of value out of it. By creating this basic metric in which value can be measured against time, purchases can be ranked against one another in a quick and easy manner. Let's look at a handful of examples. I have a Spotify and Netflix subscription, both of which cost me £10 per month. Now, I use Spotify all the time, listening to music for an average of around 3 hours a day. Added up over the course of a month, that would equate to around 60 hours. Now, Netflix I use every now and then, mainly to binge old TV shows, but no more than 2 hours a week. So over a month, that comes to approximately 8 hours of use. If we take Spotify's £10 subscription and divide that by the 60 hours of usage, it comes to around 16p per hour. Whereas with Netflix, the £10 subscription divided by the 8 hours of use comes to 125 per hour. Just hold on to that for now. Let's look at some other, more expensive purchases. Let's say you're in the market for a new pair of headphones and some trainers. You decide on a pair of AirPods for £179 and a pair of Nike Air Force Ones for £100. For some, that's a lot of money to splash out at once. So, using my own usage, let's see if we can work out how much value these purchases offer you. I bought this pair of Air Force Ones 3 years ago. I've worn them every week since I've bought them, so let's say 8 hours a week of use. Over the course of a year, that comes to 416 hours. And then multiplying that by the number of years comes to approximately 1,248 hours over 3 years, or 8 pence an hour. The AirPods I've had for roughly the same amount of time, although I've used them much more, probably for around 2 hours a day, or 14 hours a week. Over the year that comes to 728 hours, and then multiplied by the years again, gives us 2,184 hours over 3 years. Again, 8p per hour. Both of these items have created so much value for me, despite being an expensive purchase initially. If we compare these two items to the previous subscriptions, we can start to see how valuable some things are in comparison. Before we go any further, I would just like to explain the two main reasons I use this system. First and foremost, I use it to gain perspective on my purchases. Essentially, is this a good use of my money? I can typically tell before I buy anything whether or not I will get a good baseline of £1 1 hour out of it. And secondly, I use it to help find true value, or where I should spend my money. This is going to be unique person to person, as everyone in life values things independently. Who can tell you what's worth your time and money better than yourself? By breaking my spending down against a £1 1 hour metric, I find particular items shine through in terms of value over time. With the aforementioned items, I've clearly gotten so much value out of them over time that when it's time to upgrade, maybe I'll be inclined to spend a little bit more. Maybe when I upgrade, I choose the AirPod Pro instead. Now let's apply this logic to a few more examples where I feel like I found true value in items. Starting with something as simple as a desk chair. I had a cheap gaming chair, and over the years, experienced horrendous back pain and all sorts of spine shiftiness. I work from home, and so sit at a desk for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Based on the value I was getting from the chair, I decided to be extravagant and bought what I would consider at the time a fairly expensive chair. I spent £166 on it, which was 40% off on a Black Friday sale. 40 hours a week, or 2,080 hours a year, over 3 years that I've had it, is 6,240 hours, or 3 pence an hour. A bargain, even at full price, and my spinal column loves me for it. I used to flinch at the prospect of spending £42 for a free pack of underwear. However, I'll demonstrate shortly why spending a little bit more for your quality is worth it. If you wear underwear, you'll know that you probably have them on for about 10 hours on a given day. Assuming we're wearing all 3 pairs each week comes to 1,560 hours over a year, or 2 pence an hour. I often hear complaints about the cost of a phone, and to be fair, they have increased a lot year over year. But for most people, this little device is an extension of themselves. Holding entertainment, organisation, socials, finance and more, a smartphone really is great value for money against a £1 1 hour metric. That's supposing you take good care of it. For £849, you can get the latest iPhone 14, and with 5 hours daily use, check your own daily activity to compare for yourself, that comes to 1,820 hours a year, and over 2 years, 3,640, 23 pence an hour. I typically have my phones for about 4 years before I upgrade, so mine would work out about 11 pence an hour. What about a decent frying pan? I got sick of going through cheap pans every 6 months, and so I invested in a slightly more expensive non-stick one, and I still use the one that I bought 5 years ago for £40. You know the drill by now. 3 hours of use per week, over 5 years, 780 hours. Comes to 5 pence per hour. Great value. A nice formal bag for work or school. You'll use this most days, it's practical and it looks nice. 8 hours, 5 days a week, 2,080 hours over a year, 5 pence an hour. So we've just talked a lot about stuff that I consider great value, but what about purchases that aren't £1 1 hour? So, I'm guilty, as anyone is, of indulging in the occasional coffee. An oat milk latte will set me back around £4. I would enjoy this for around 30 minutes. £8 an hour. If you want a way to make yourself feel better about that, an argument can be made for the caffeine and the 4 hours it remains in your system, if you want to angle it that way. Now let's say I buy the new Call of Duty game to play with some friends. After getting dunked on for 4 hours, I uninstall because the files are huge, and then I never play it again. £60 for 4 hours of gameplay comes to £15 an hour. I buy a nice pair of Ray-Bans as my eyes are very valuable to me and I want to shield them from the evil hot sun. I drop £120 on a nice pair only to remember that the sun only comes out 4 times a year in the UK and I'll probably never get to wear them. 3 hours of sun, 4 days a year, over 2 years, £5 an hour. Maybe I decide to buy a velvetizer to froth my hot chocolate for £99. Yeah, I'd have to drink a lot of hot chocolate. For each of these hypothetical buys, I would have gone through and thought about them on a £1 1 hour basis prior to purchasing, and probably would have come to the conclusion that I wouldn't have got the value out of them that I wanted. Using the £1 1 hour system in this way has certainly helped me become a lot less impulsive with my purchases. So where does the system break? There are certain purchases that require alternate thinking about their usage or simply just don't apply. The two main ones I found are in food and experiences. Firstly, with food and cooking, I find that the prices of ingredients are too much to weigh against the £1 1 hour metric. However, an analysis on how much nutrition and energy you get from eating this food and how it impacts you over time could work, with ingredients and the cost of cooking divided by the hours of nutrition you get. I haven't spent too much time thinking about it, but there is some food for thought there. And secondly, experiences, which I find are hard to quantify. How do you put a price on travelling and seeing the world, on nights out with your friends, or something extreme like skydiving? My conclusion? This system mainly works within the realms of typical first world day-to-day purchases. Clothes, technology, subscriptions, furniture, things you bought from an Instagram ad one time. This is by no means a perfect system, but since picking this up as a mindset, I'd say I've certainly become a lot more cost conscious with my spending. I encourage others to look around and try and use this system once in a while, to hopefully gain some perspective on their purchasing, or perhaps to find some true value in items previously overlooked. The £1 1 hour way. Last but not least, I'd feel remiss to not shout out the origins that inspired this whole philosophy for me. It stemmed from a humble man named Spool and a YouTube video game series called $1 1 hour. The short-lived series revolved around playing very, very cheap video games for as long as possible to get as much value out of them. I initially took this concept into my own gaming habits, only buying games that I knew I would get at least £1 1 hour out of. I then started applying it to other aspects of my life, and next thing you know, my entire childhood was gone, wasted, forcing myself to do stuff I hated in order to extract at least £1 1 hour out of it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more stupid philosophies. I have another one in mind that is equally as inane and unsettling, so stay tuned for that. Feel free to follow me on Instagram or TikTok too, links in the description, no pressure. If you made it to the end after 10 minutes of free content, congrats. You've gained about 16 pence of value from me. Well done, you.